Hey guys, Shane here again with One Shift at a Time. How you doing? We're back. Week 6 is in the books. Week 7 Power Rankings being brought to you as we speak. We got the NHL Power Rankings coming this weekend as well. I didn't want to do them last weekend as some teams had only played one game. Some had played up to 4 or 5 games. It just didn't seem right at the time. We'll have those this weekend for you though. Don't worry, week 1 coming. And let's jump right into these NFL ones, though. Number 10, we got the Los Angeles Chargers. They're sticking around. They got 4-2 record, which is good for second in the AFC West. They had a very close game against the Broncos. They're going to overtime. A couple possessions in overtime, too. We've had that a couple times this year where it's not just the team that wins the coin toss walks off with a win. We're having a couple positions in overtime. That's what I like. They got the Seahawks next. That could be a tougher game as the Seahawks are also 3-3. Herbert is 4th in yards. He's got 1,716, so having himself a season. Number 9, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. They're also 3-3. They're second in the AFC North. They had a strange win over the New Orleans Saints. We'll see. They're playing okay. They need to play better if they want to return to the Super Bowl like they were last year. They do have the Falcons next and then the Browns, so it's a couple winnable games coming up, so we'll see if they can make some moves. Number 9, we have the Dallas Cowboys. A little setback this week. They are 4-2, third in the NFC East. Surprisingly, that is the best division, it seems, in football. They gave the Eagles all they can handle, though. As I said, that was a very close game. They could have made some real moves in the power rankings with beating the Eagles, that's for sure. They have the Detroit Lions next. That's going to be 11 a.m. Sunday. You know what? Cooper Rush has been okay. The defense has been amazing. That's what's winning games for them. So when Dak comes back, this team is going to be very impressive. Assuming he comes back in form. Number 7, we have the Patriots. Yeah, the New England Patriots are going to sneak into the list. They're also 3-3. They're 4th in the AFC East. Again, that's a very strong division. They shut out the Lions 2 weeks ago. They doubled up the Browns this week. So they're just building momentum, playing some really good football right now. And they're going up against the Bears this weekend. So that's another very winnable game for them. Mac Jones again. He's got the least passing yards of any starting QB in the league. So this is another team that's being driven by defense for sure. Number 6, Kansas City Chiefs. They're down 3 spots. They did have that big loss this week. They're but still 4-2. You know, that's first in the AFC West. A tough loss, though, against the Bills, as we said. They should bounce back, though, as they do go against San Francisco 49ers this week. Mahomes, he's in the mix for lead with 17 touchdowns. 20-something would be amazing. 17 TDs, that's still pretty amazing. Number 5, is this correct? The New York Jets? Yeah, they are in the top 10 for the first time, and honestly, that's a bit me sleeping on them. They should have probably been in here last week as well. They're 4-2, second in that AFC East. They had a huge win over the Dolphins 2 weeks ago. They beat the Packers this week. They're beating good opponents. So they got the Broncos next. It's another winnable game, and they're doing it by committee. No one's really stepping up and taking the reins as a superstar in New York. They're all everyone's chipping in and they're getting her done. Number 4, hey, let's just stay in New York, I guess. They're the 5-1, second in the AFC East. Their only loss is to the Dallas Cowboys. That is the New York Giants, I tell you. The Ravens this week is going to be another good game. I think Lamar Jackson's going to want to wanted to win that one, but the Giants prevailed. It was just a great game. They are going to play the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up this week. Daniel Jones is 4th in the completion percentage. He's got 67.3%. So just having himself a good season there. Speaking of quarterbacks having a good season, number 3, we have the Minnesota Vikings. That's the highest they've ever been, but they're 5-1 as well. They're first in the NFC North. They beat the Dolphins. Honestly, we know Tua wasn't in that game, so I don't want to give them, they didn't beat the full squad Dolphins, but that's still a full team they beat, just missing their good quarterback there. They could honestly go all the way to 7-1 as well. They got games coming up against the Cardinals and the Commanders. So I think Kirk Cousins is definitely having his best season when we're talking about quarterbacks. So I love to see this. I think Minnesota deserves this after years of suffering. Number 2, we got the Buffalo Bills, and they're still in second. They are 5-1 in the AFC, first in the AFC East. They have a huge win over the Chiefs in that rematch of the playoff game from last year. Josh Allen did not let it go to overtime this time. He was able to win it with that great completion near the end of the game. They're looking to continue rolling as they host the suddenly struggling Packers on Sunday. Allen is tied with Mahomes, as we talked about earlier, with that 17 TDs for league lead, but he's also first in yards with 1,980, so great year by him. Number 1, we got the Philadelphia Eagles, of course, the only undefeated team left. Fly, Eagles, fly. They're 6-0, first in the NFC East. They beat Dallas this week. They look to keep it rolling against the Steelers this week in Pittsburgh, and they got Darius Slay leading the way with 3 takeaways. So let me know, as always, in the comments below how you're doing in your fantasy, how your top 5 power rankings is looking yourself, or whatever you want to do. I love hearing the comments there. And as always, share this thing around, give it a like, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.